jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out that more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back
Once again, you tuned in to World Combat Sports. Big salute in the early morning to all the boxing fanatics out there. And the WCF supporters as always. You know what it is. Hopefully everybody's enjoying their Sunday. And that's why I had to come on early today. We give a little time that for some people to come in, but I had to come on early today because it is a Sunday. So the fight is pretty much a done deal with Errol Spence and Urine. I have some very important points I wanted to go over, just to clarify some things with the fight. So I'm going to give a little bit of time for people to drop in. I know it's Sunday and everything. So while I'm doing that, if you are a church, I want y'all to give a prayer, for all the hard work and dedication that went into Errol Spence picking up these 3 belts. Amen. I want you all to sit back and just reflect on the moment when the journey actually took place with him initially getting that belt in Kell Brook's backyard and fighting Sean Porter in California and Daniel Dennis Ugas in Texas. That's commendable. Amen. So therefore, as we recognize his hard work, you know what I'm saying, and the trials and tribulations that he's experienced during that journey, we can't do anything except allow him to come forward one more time. And what I mean by come forward is that you've been working to accomplish a goal that you initially set out to do. You want to be undisputed in the welterweight division. You, Errol Spence Jr., you want it to be that. So we can't, it's nothing less than we can do except tell you congratulations. The 3 belts that you collected, you extend your unification, you have your championship credentials. And like all journeys, what I'm saying, it has their success to it and have their moments of highlight. It must come to a close. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to eloquently just provide you the benediction to your undisputed reign. That's what I'm here for. I'm not a spokesperson for Team Crawford. I'm just here providing just somewhat of a benediction. When you're in church and the preacher say, I want to challenge all y'all. You know what I'm saying? Every member of this congregation, I want to challenge all y'all to be better this week. I want y'all to trust in God more. I want y'all to do this, that, and the other. They challenge you. So they want you to do better. Well, check this out. Spence did what he had to do. He picked up the 3 belts. He's the current WBA, WBC, and IBF champion. And in this boxing game, sometime in the era for which you're fighting, you're trying to be great, you're running the individuals that's just your alpha. You know what I'm saying? And those alphas, no matter how you sit there and strategize, you know the hardest point to everything is when you actually face to face with them on that night. And that's what we're totally unclear about. We're not sure if Errol Spence will be able to step in the ring with Terrence Crawford. Now that this fight is out the way, you know, we're turning up the amplification. Because earlier this year, you know, it was spokespersons, you know, messengers out here that was saying they just couldn't do anything. They couldn't give him an offer. They couldn't do this. They didn't want to insult him. But guess what? The insult in reality is this. Not too long ago, all the Spencer Hollis was talking about how much heavy lifting he was doing. But guess what? You don't have to do any more heavy lifting. Because when you're carrying hardware like you are, and you know you have to go see one person, and that one person is the best welterweight in boxing. He's top pound for pound. You don't have to worry about doing the heavy lifting anymore there, Errol. The journey is over, bro. The journey is over. Because the title's about to get snatched. Stuck. You don't have to do any more heavy lifting. I don't know how much per title that they weigh, but since Spencer Hollis was whining and complaining about, you know, heavy lifting, now it's the time that we basically do you a favor. You know what I'm saying? We step in and we send those titles to the destination. You don't have to do shit else, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna talk about your fight last night. Though Errol Spence did what he had to do, let's be clear. That performance that he put on with Urine would not get him past Terrence Crawford. Let's be clear on some things. The journey has been sweet for talking points, conversation, sidebar conversations, you know what I'm saying? Private back and forth, you know, strategizing, verbal sparring on social media. All that shit has come to a conclusion. All that has now met its final destination. And we all know who's standing there at the end. We all know that Errol Spence, his performance yesterday is not going to be the one that he can step in there with Crawford with. Come on, bro. And I'm going to tell you why. You know that performance for Urine is not Terrence Crawford, bro. Y'all know that shit. Y'all know damn well looking at that performance last night, you saying to yourself, what's going on with some of these lapse of judgment that Spence had going on? The way he was getting hit and the amount of space of separation that he was taking, even though he did come back and you know, run it back, get that punch back. You know damn well Ugas was barely throwing any punches in volume. The fight was stopped by the referee, dog. It wasn't no man down. The man was on his feet. The man was on his feet, bro. So listen, I'm here to kind of present to y'all the punch stats, right? Let's talk about these punch stats because they're very concerning to me. The reason why they concern me first and foremost is that this was a fight. Look, this was a fight with no drug testing. Just like the Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman, this fight was no drug testing. Look at the total punches landed thrown per round. Let's kind of go over this a bit now. Total punch. Let's go through the categories. Total punches landed thrown, jabs landed thrown, power punches landed thrown. Okay, this is for Spence Ugas yesterday. All right, the first round, a total of 73 for Spence, and he landed 9. Ugas, arguably his better round. He threw 32, landed 12. Round number 2, Spence picks up the pace a little bit. He threw 60, landed 13. Ugas threw 46, landed 9. Now let's talk about this now. Let's talk about the bullshit. In the first round, Ugas threw 32 and landed 12. 37.5%. And then all of a sudden, the second round, he throws 46 and landed 9. Right off the rip, first round of the second round. Now he picks up again, third round. Spence throws 94 and landed 25. Ugas 68, landed 16. Right? All based off the first round. You try to tell me one fucking round now. One round. Ugas, come on, bro. Round number 4. Spence throws 87, lands 17. Ugas throws 80, lands 12. So look at the percentages of these total punches landed throughout 4. They go to 5. Spence threw 72, landed 18. Ugas threw 63 now. 63 and landed 9. 63 and landed 9. It wasn't like Errol Spence was using this amazing defense or anything. That's not the case. Let's be clear. That wasn't the case, bro. Round number 6, Spence threw 79, landed 21. Ugas 64, landed 13. All right. So far, Ugas consistently across the board, total punches landed. He never even consistently breached 15 punches landed. More than 15 punches landed per round. He had 16 landed in the third, and it went to hell from there. Round number 7, Errol Spence threw 97, landed 39. That's when we saw, him pick up the pace, and Ugas' eye was fucked up and everything else. I seriously thought the fight could have been, sooner or later, stopped because his eye was getting fucked up. I mean, what happened to all the defense? With defense, you have to return fire, Ugas. You gotta have some reaction to what's going on. Errol Spence threw 97, landed 39. All right, this is him picking up the pace. This is him increasing his output. Ugas 57, and he only landed 6. He only landed 6. What's going on, Alexander? I see you. Salute, my brother. Appreciate the donation yesterday. Thanks for pulling up this morning. Round number 8. Spence picks it up again. 110. At this point in time, he knows Ugas is fucked up. He's basically degraded right now, and he's breaking down. 110 and lands 46. Ugas 61 and lands 10. Haven't even consistently broke 15 shots landed. 15 punches landed, dog. Round number 9. Errol Spence throws 53, lands 13. Ugas 54, lands 8. And then in the 10th round, what the stoppage happened via doctor stoppage. I knew Lawrence Cole was going to do it. I knew he was going to do it. I knew 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 he was going to make sure that the right fighter win. I'm telling you, bro. I knew it. I'm not saying he could have made it to the 12th round. I'm pretty sure he wanted to. But Ugas' eye was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Ugas' eye was fucked up. But let me be honest with you. I thought Erickson Lubin looked a bit worse. And he was still able to go. In my opinion, I mean, the fight was much more dramatic. But anyway, let me stick to the cause. In the 10th round, Errol threw 59 and landed 15. Ugas, a whopping 16 punches thrown, and he landed one. This is a fight for which Ugas have had better defense in other fights. But in this particular fight, he chose the high guard and to stand there in front of a puncher like Errol Spence with the work rate, rather. You know what I'm saying? And with the amount of output that he was delegating in that fight, Ugas decides to pick up the high guard. What is up with that? We saw Erickson and Lubin pick up the high guard. I mean, this ain't the Winky Wright era. You have to be Winky Wright to do this shit. You just can't pick up the high guard like Isaac Cruz. Everybody can't do it like Isaac Cruz right now. Have the high guard and don't get hit as much. But Urdinas Ugas, man, and he never consistently landed. The total punches landed per round. He never did enough. You know what I'm saying? Over 15 per round. Hold on for a second. Let me plug this up. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a split second, man. Deshaun Thompson in the building. What's good? He said, man down nation here. I hear you. Aaron say strap season. I see you. You got the Buzz supporters in here and the Spencerholics. I see y'all. Hold on for a split second. So we go to jabs landed, right? The second category. And it's good to see some of the Spencerholic fans coming in here. It's been a minute since y'all, showed your face. I'm glad you're now showing up because you really wasn't as confident. I didn't see you over here. But I'm happy to say I salute y'all for showing up because you know what it is, man. With WCS, we got all that shit out the way. You know how the tactics are coming. Shout out to the man himself, Captain Chaos on deck. What's going on with it, Ed? Salute to you, bro. Man, please, Deshaun, stop it. You don't believe that. But keep that belt warm for a couple more months. Come on. You don't believe that. Look, when all this stuff was going on with Urdinas Ugas, I didn't even see you in here because you was in shady places, shaking. When that light crept into the darkness, you was like, oh, that ain't Crawford. Okay, great. Yeah, you wanted to hide in the shade. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to hide in the shade. I get it. But let me get back to it. Jabs landed. Spence landed 57 jabs, right? I mean, he thrown 57 jabs and landed 6 in the first round to Ugas 7 out of 17. Spence in the second round, he landed 4 jabs. I'm gonna go round for round. I'm gonna switch it up. Third round, Spence landed 1 jab. Fourth round, 3 jabs. Fifth round, 1 jab. Sixth round, 0. 0 jabs. 7th round, 2, 8, 2, 9, 3 for 3. That's when Ugas was breaking down. He couldn't see shit out of his right eye. And 10th round, 2 out of 24. Let me ask yourself, all the Spencerholics, come on, let me ask yourself, do you think those numbers are going to be efficient to go in there? You know, with that jab count right there. You think that's going to be efficient for Bud Crawford? Come on, bro. Man, Ugas wasn't even consistent from the first round. Look at Ugas jabs. 7 in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth, 1 in the seventh, 3 in the eighth, 0 in the ninth, 0 and 0 in the 10th. Let's go to the power punches because people believe it's man down. I see people in there to my strap season, man down and all that. But Ugas was on his feet. Look, the doctor stopped the fight. Let's be real. But check this out though. It's no man down, bro. Power punches landed because this is where they believe that Spence has the strength and ability that he's going to match up well competitively with Terrence Crawford, right? Look at this. Power punches for Spence. Round 1, 3. Number 2, 9. Round 3, 24. Round 4, 14. All right. Round 5, 17. Round 6, 21. Round number 7, 37. 8, 44. 9, it goes back down to 10. And round 10, 13. So Spence had a peak, he had a peak at round number 3, then a slope, round number 4, climb back up a little bit, round number 5, incline, round number 6, 7, 8, and then we don't know what happened in 9 and 10. Ugas, 5 in the first, 6 in the second, 15 in the third, 10 in the fourth, 8 in the fifth, 12 in the sixth round, 5 in the seventh, 7th in the eighth, 8th in the ninth round. Now, Ugas is not even breaking consistently 10 power punches landed in a round. Round number 3, he had 15. Round number 4, he had 10. You know what I'm saying? Round number 6, he had 12. And then you go to round number 8, 7, 9, 8. And then number 10, he had one power punch to land. 1. The total punches to the body landed for Spence was 216 to Ugas 96. I mean, that's nothing to sit up here and jump up and down and clap your hands about. Total jabs, 24. This is 12-round fight that went 10. And people look at it and say, oh, it was much worse than it is. That's because he found out he can go headhunting with Ugas. And he didn't have nothing to worry about. Total jabs landed with 24 out of 308. 7.8%. You think this performance is going to get him past Crawford? Look, come on now. 24 jabs out of 308. I repeat, 24 total jabs landed out of 308. Ugas, 19 out of 262. Both of these guys sitting at 7%. Power punches, 192 out of 476. To Ugas is 77 out of 279. The reason why I put this up here is I'm looking at the numbers and I'm trying to see how they can transfer over to the grand finale of Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, because I was looking at Errol Spence, even though he went in there and looked the way he was supposed to against Urdinas Ugas. I was going for Ugas. I thought he had an opportunity to win. But obviously, Ugas did not look the same as he did against Manny Pacquiao. Now, of course, we have to put the no drug testing in there. It was no drug testing, just like Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman. It was no drug testing for Errol Spence, Shadinas Ugas. We have to put that in there, bro. We have to put that in there. We have to ask why there was no drug testing. And then you have to consider the fine details that they're more than likely going to be drug tested when he step in the ring with Terrence Crawford. And if there's drug testing, you can almost guarantee Spence is not going to look this way. He had great output throughout the fight. When I say output, I mean activity, work rate. He did. But I'm just curious, like a lot of people, as to why I wasn't drug tested. You know what I'm saying? Where was the cup in urine? Where's the cup in urine? Why wasn't any drug test? I thought Ugas could have did way better than what he did. All right, I'm back, man. Let me read some of these comments. Captain Chaos say salute. Deshaun Thompson said, Bud, keep that belt warm. A couple months later. Big Demon on deck. What's good with it? Alexander say, I've noticed that slick fighters tend to be more upright, high guard with the way Errol used his jab, pawing, blinding, trying to set up the left hand. Spence versus Crawford is going to be a legendary fight. It has the potential to be something special. What is legendary or not, I don't know. Be honest with you, Alexander, I don't know. After what I looked at yesterday, because Bud Crawford isn't Urdinas Ugas. Bud Crawford is much more stronger than Ugas, man. And, I just don't see it. I just don't see it as being legendary. Like, I will have to wait till they get into the ring and see it. Based off what I seen last night, I just don't see it, bro. It is some areas in there. If that was Crawford, he wouldn't sit up there and just threw one punch. Just look at Urdinas. He when he landed a solid punch, he didn't have nothing behind it. You think that's going to be the reaction? You think that's going to be the the execution process of Terrence Crawford, if he gets Errol Spence in that situation, hell no. I don't see it at all. I don't see it. Being boxing news on deck, man. What it do? So for the final punch stat, I'm looking at the numbers, and for Yadina's Ugas eye to be the way it was, and for the lack of punch output, the lack of accuracy, the lack of just energy in general from Ugas. You know what I'm saying? The lack of aggression from Ugas. He never hit the deck. You know what I'm saying? Ugas did what he did. We know he's a tough Cuban fighter. Errol Spence punished him, land the uppercuts when he's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? He went to the body. It was more so like a move around session because, in my opinion, when Ugas had the opportunity to land some shots, he didn't zip it up with anything. He didn't zip that shit up with anything. He could have dressed that up real nice with some more some more activity. He had ammunition to his disposal. He didn't want to come out with it. He didn't want to unholster that and let his hands go. I just don't see, what Errol Spence was able to do yesterday against a Ugas is going to suffice against Terrence Bud Crawford. I don't see it at all. Because we all know one of the worst killers in the welterweight division when it comes to damn expounding on hurting your opposition is Terrence Crawford. His killer instinct is bar none the best in the welterweight division. The best. We've seen it several times over. His mentality to go in for the kill. Like I said before, we've seen it several times over. His mentality to finish the hunt. I don't see Errol Spence having the sustainment to get out of that shit. I don't see it, people. I just don't see it, man. Jason Williams on deck. What's good? I just don't see it. That's just me. I'm looking at these numbers on the punch stat, and that's something you were supposed to do against a fighter that had very limited response to what you was doing. Like Ugas, man, he wasn't even letting his hands go, man. He was in there in the high guard. I said, okay, here we go. Here we go. Ugas gonna hold the earmuffs on. Spencer's just gonna move as he so please. Either throw a hook around it or up the middle. Uppercut, split the high guard, and land the uppercuts. The same shit we see all the damn time. Why was Ugas in the high guard? I have no idea. What happened to the damn free-flowing Ugas that we saw with Sean Porter? Have no idea. What happened to all that energy that he had with Manny Pacquiao? We don't know. We don't know. Ugas was bent over, with the high guard. I'm like, what is going on with you? Why do you have to do that? Errol came out the gate on the gas. Errol came out the motherfucking gate on the gas. And it's almost like Ugas was just standing there, man. And he ran over the speed bump, made a U-turn, came back, hit the speed bump again, turned back around, and just kept on running over Ugas, Ugas just standing in the same spot. Something doesn't feel right. Oh, shit, man. My face is swelling up. I don't know what to do. Something just isn't right. People say, move, get out the street. You can move, use your legs. Ugas just standing there in the middle of the street. Oncoming vehicle. Oh, it's Spence again. Bump. Run his ass over again. So much to the point where his eyes start swelling up. And then he started bending over. Showing his weakness. We didn't see Erickson Lubin do that shit. I'm just saying. Erickson Lubin had a hematoma. A center mass hematoma. Above his right in the center of his forehead. And his right eye was fucked up. His lip was swollen, and his left eye was swollen too. We didn't see him bending over now. I don't know what the fuck was going on with Ugas. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck happened with your defense, because if you was able to have that defense against Porter and Manny Pacquiao, why the fuck you didn't have it with Errol Spence? You the same fighter, right? Like, it's not like you came down from a weight class. You was fighting 160 and you came down 2 weight classes. No, dog. I mean, you the same fighter, right? Anyway, let's get back to the task at hand. I gotta put back up my my other thumbnail. Deshaun and all those other Spencerholics. I totally understand your desire to hope. You know what I'm saying? Your desire is for hope. You've been gone several months, and then you had to wait and see if Errol Spence is capable of getting through this fight. And I guess what y'all seeing him beating up on a guy like Urine Ugas, who didn't really have any resistance. Urine Ugas had minimal resistance. Now you come back out talking about keep the belt warm. It's been warm. Because it's in the presence of one of the hottest fighters in boxing. Of course it's gonna be warm there, Deshaun. Of course, bro. What do you think? Of course it's gonna be warm. Y'all concern need to be that y'all say he did all the heavy lifting only to drop all those titles off in Omaha. You know what I'm saying? Amazon Prime, goddammit. That's how quick that shit gonna be. Y'all know damn well based off that performance, it's not gonna get it done against Crawford, bro. This is gonna be a very, very good fight if it happens. I hope the language is different. I hope they come out and make these numbers feasible. I hope the fight is anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere. I would like Terrence Crawford to, have that fight over in Texas, because they can do higher numbers over in Texas. And then all the Texas fans that's over there get to see Terrence Crawford go in there and step on Errol Spence, bro, and take all those belts and take all them photos afterwards in the heart of Texas. Because on that night is when Terrence Crawford picks up some fans in Texas. They say, oh, man, he's the better man. God damn. Man, shit, man. I was afraid of this shit, but it's finally here. Yeah, reality, nigga. It's finally here. No more talking about Urine Ugas. Let's get down to the reality. You have the belts. Everybody's happy. Make the thumbnails. Do your live streams. Break down whatever you want to break down. But if you breaking some shit down from the fight that happened last night and you want to compare that shit to Terrence Crawford, I love it. I want you to say, hey, look at the way he was able to do this. I want you to say that shit. Because that activity rate that he put out, the way he was looking, if y'all believe that's going to be efficient enough for him to go take that WBO strap, you out your goddamn mind. You out your mind, bro. I'm telling you. I believe wholeheartedly Terrence Crawford can stop Errol Spence. I'm telling you. I believe Crawford can stop Spence. Just because you got past Urine Ugas, okay. Urine barely threw anything. But what happened when the shots, when dude was getting hit and taking 2 steps back, and then he had to come back to save face and throw 4 or 5. I like his punch output. That's easy for that shit to happen on a fighter that's not providing you any resistance. Let me get to the live chat. Sheet, we here on deck, man. What's good with it? Velocity say Mayweather wants to sign Crawford now. We're guaranteeing the Spence fight. I don't know about messing with Mayweather, dog, because I don't know, dog. I don't know, man. I don't know. Mayweather's ego is all about Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe. He didn't pay Logan Paul. He didn't pay Logan Paul. I don't know about that. That's not a good idea. I don't know about that. Captain Chaos said, I think UGA's thought he could overpower Spence Ugas. He probably thought that, to a point, because he found out early. Like, did you see the look on Ugas' face in the first and second round when Spence came out the hole on his ass? You know what I'm saying? He was already sitting at like 10 RPMs. Shit. Motherfucking was revved up, came out the pocket, spinning tire. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Y'all don't know about that unless you was running bikes on the street. But Spence came out the hole on his ass. Whoop, 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 whoop. And Ugas was like, what the fuck? Don't we supposed to warm up to this shit? Ugas came up there putting around like he driving a Prius or something. They say no gas. I get electric. Maybe I'm running low. I have to check. Spence is on carburetor, goddammit. I'm just being serious, y'all. I'm just being serious. Like, it's no hate. Okay? It's no hate. I'm being, eloquent. It's no hate when it comes to me speaking on Spence. I'm just totally confident on what I seen yesterday is not gonna get it done. There's a lot of capping going on. That shit is over right now. Now we have just Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford remain in the welterweight division. And y'all know what it is. Big Demon said he asked to do all the heavy lifting. Hey, he asked to do that shit. So look, Big B.I.G. If he asked to do this shit, and all them have to come over here in my direction anyway, why am I complaining? Special delivery. Why am I complaining? Special delivery. You know the song? Why am I complaining? If he wants to be the one to prove to himself that he needs to go out here and run and get all these belts, and his entire goal is to be undisputed, where does he have to go to become undisputed? He has to come see Omaha, Nebraska. He has to come see Omaha, Nebraska. Terrence Bud Crawford, the man that sits above him on the pound for pound list. That's what he has to do. He has to come over here and see Team Crawford, so he can do all the heavy lifting, special delivery. Deliver those belts right where they need to be, bro. Man, look, I'm telling y'all, this Terrence Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence, based off, that's gonna be that shit you just seen yesterday. That's gonna be the best you see of Errol Spence, bro, against a fighter that allow him to shine like that. Listen to my words. That's gonna be the best you see Errol Spence against a fighter that's perfect for him to shine the way he did last night. That's what it is. Ugas is not even close to the level of Terrence Crawford. Ugas is not even close, bro. Ugas is like 3 brackets down. He just happened to slide in there, because of the shift of Besputin popping positive. And then he was able to fight for the goddamn vacant title, get that shit out the way and defend it against Manny. Cool. But I'm telling you, dog, Ugas is levels below Terrence Crawford in this boxing game. Dude is much more strong. He's much stronger than Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? If you look at that fight, bro, if y'all look at that fight, you have to look at it 2 to 3 times. Just watch it on mute, because your mind thinks different when you don't have sound. When it's visual and audio, the data that you collect is quite different. Turn down the audio and just, look at the fight as you see it. Look at all the deficiencies that you see from both fighters. And then the fighter that you wanted to win, for those of you that wanted Errol Spence to win, right? Look at what he was able to do against a fighter like Ugas that had very low output. Just do your own research. Jason say we need 0 public negotiations. 0, goddammit. 0. But I found out that the Spencerholics newscast, the Inquirer, they be creating false narratives. Some of them, not all of them, some of them. With those false narratives, they're gonna come up here and start talking about, oh, he got 3 belts. Oh, it should be, 60-40. It shouldn't be. He did all the heavy lifting. I swear to God, they made heavy lifting popular, and it's been in the damn English vocabulary for quite some time. Heavy lifting. Whoever had construction as their employment, you know what I'm saying? They did heavy lifting. Whoever competed as a power lifter, you know what I'm saying? They did heavy lifting. If you was a mechanic, you probably did some heavy lifting. I'm just saying. Zero public negotiation. I know roids can make your output higher, make you think. See, Captain Chaos over here, goddamn talking some goddamn educated shit. You know how we know that's to be true? Because of Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller was the way he was, over 300 plus pounds, throwing punches later on in the fight. The man was on juice. Errol's cardio, look, to be honest with you, he did somewhat similar shit with Danny Garcia. Let's look at, Danny Garcia, fight. I mean, come on, Ugas just broke down quicker than what I imagined. Quicker than what I imagined, bro. Then people act like what Captain Chaos would say, right? It's something that's not public record that there was no drug testing. But it's just something about this fight being no drug testing that got me a bit bewildered. I'm not totally sure as to why Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao was no drug testing. Was it to benefit one particular fighter? And then all of a sudden, this fight comes up, no drug testing. And then we had the Erickson Lubin and Sebastian Fundora fight, no drug testing. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Think about that shit. I'm assuming Isaac Cruz and Gamboa, no drug testing. Somebody help me understand what you come out in 2022 and all this no drug testing. What's the deal? Well, to give the fans more of what they need to see, we're gonna say fuck it. We're gonna give you a leave of absent when it comes to the clean boxing program. You know what I'm saying? Take full advantage of the window. It's not going to be that long. Take full advantage, people. This window is not going to be open for a long period of time. So you can get 2 fights in 2022. Do it. Dead Game Boxing in the building. Salute to you. BIG say he really just got you. Mini opening for Bud, not to fuck him up. Flex on deck. Salute. What's good? Let's go. Good morning. What's good with it? Ugas fucking slacked. He didn't let those hands go. At least I know Flex. His eyesight is good. At least I know the way he downloads data is proficient. Because that's what I'm saying. Urdinas Ugas was a shell. How easy is it for somebody to go in there on the level of Errol Spence and box circles around Urdinas Ugas, who didn't even want to throw out, who didn't even want to put out? Look, first of all, he didn't want to throw down, and he didn't want to put out, dog. Aren't y'all seeing a trend? I don't know what it is, man. It's a motherfucking trend. I don't know what it is. I can't use the high guard against Isaac Cruz because he used that mostly against Gervonta Davis, but he didn't really have to do that shit yesterday against Yorkis Gamboa. But the no drug testing trend, I mean, why is that a thing right now? And I'm not worried about that shit when it comes to Crawford Spence, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be drug testing. I'm telling you, y'all, the lack of output from Urdinas Ugas definitely worked in advantage of Errol Spence and allowed him to shine as bright as any diamond that you can see in person. That's what he did. He made that fight look very, very easy. Now, I want to ask you this. What if Terrence Crawford was his opponent last night? Would Errol Spence would have made it to the 12th round? The way Errol Spence was fighting and how he was just going in there, coming forward. You think that shit would have sufficed with Terrence Crawford? Do you think the performance that Errol Spence gave last night would stand up to Terrence Crawford? The times he had lack of judgment, Ugas, like I said earlier, the time he did land the punch, he just stood there. Like, what the fuck? They got scarecrows in Cuba? You been over here, man. You live the lifestyle. You got the checks. What the fuck are you doing? You throw one punch and you just stand there. Sir Ken on deck with it. World Combat Sports, salute. Salute to the wrenches and salute to the chat. Smash the like button. Salute to you there, Sir Ken, supporting. Captain Chaos says Spence was at fighting weight over a month before the fight. Extremely hard to do. Make you think. Talk to him, bro. We said that shit. We said that shit, dog. They want to talk about he had a nutritionist and a strength and conditioning. But we all know Spence was goddamn looking like he was already, 3 or 4 pounds out a month and a half ago or whatever. Like he was sitting low 150s. You know what I'm saying? For you to maintain that muscle, maintain that strength, because if your body, your metabolism is the way it is, it's going to burn fat because you continue to work out, you spar and everything else. So Lily, if you don't have the proper nutritionist to moderate your calorie intake, your protein, and whatever your diet is, so your body can continue to level out and sustain that muscle mass and your strength to continue to work out without burning muscle and dropping weight, you're good. It's very difficult to be that lean for that long period of time and you're still working out, you're running, you're sparring, and your metabolism's just rapid right now. You have to replenish your body with enough, nutrition and protein and the amount of calories down to the T to sustain that. Because, you don't want to come on here 142, 144. Oh, shit, we way under. Hurry up and drink some water. You can't do that. If they had you on such a strict diet, and they got him there early, really, really early, which in my opinion is a mistake on their part. They got him there really early, but they are extreme high-level professionals because his work rate and his energy level look great. Errol Spence's energy level looked great. But just like Chaos said, you have to ponder with the no drug testing, you have to ponder the thought. Is, will both fighters clean? And, people sit up here and say, WCS, you just hate. I'm not. I'm just reporting. I'm just assuming, hypothetically, if that is the case, when it's no drug testing involved, then you have to assume that there's certain supplements that may be taken. It has to be relief of a fighter. They have no drug testing. Just like Mike Tyson fought Roy Jones in the exhibition. It was no drug testing. Just like those fighters going over there, they fighting on Triller. It's no drug testing. Seriously, it's no drug testing, people. That's the truth. So you get no drug testing, you're like, okay, cool. And then months out, it's not going to be no drug testing. So you can go through fight camp and you can just have a heyday. You good. He said, huge mistake, not normal. Hey man, I'm looking at this fight as a bit closer now that Spence has the 3 belts. I definitely want to see the fight. Like I tell anybody, the fights that I rock with heavy, the fighters that I rock with heavy, I want them to go in there and fight the best possible opponent, because we already seen that when the Spencer Hollis was crying about Terrence Crawford ain't fought nobody, they downgraded when he fought Kell Brook. They downgraded when he fought Sean Porter. So you're never gonna win. You're never gonna win with this shit. Now, with the titles in the possession of Errol Spence, he's a unified champion at welterweight. He's never unified an entire division. It just so happened to his compeer he has already at 140, so he knows what the feelings like. And I foresee him unifying at welterweight also. The only way that Errol Spence walks out of that ring on that night with all the belts, facing that name, Terrence Bud Crawford, is that the fight go to a decision and they rob him. Or if Terrence Crawford get hurt, anything, he can't continue. Anything, he come to the ring and look like he been drinking that goddamn water that was out there at the MGM Grand. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way. Okay, I say when Ben Johnson smoked Carl Lewis, it made you think. Then bingo, man, come on now. Motherfucking Ben Johnson was damn near levitating when he beat Carl Lewis, dog. Carl Lewis was one of those guys that knew at that point in time, his performance level was so high, he gauged that against every other athlete that was in his class, supposedly. And he took all the times, he knew what he was up against. He knew there was no other person around there that can beat him like that. He knew he was the fastest guy on the track pushing that. And when Ben flew past him like that, he said, nope, not at all. Absolutely not. He's juicing. Tropicana, let's get the cup of urine. Tropicana. Silence King on deck. Not a big Spence. And that is known, but the body blows was weighing down Ugas, and he looked really unsure of himself. So that could be the reason, but all in good fight just won't work against Bud. That's a fair assessment there, Silent King. That's a fair assessment of the body shots. But when you stand in front of a fighter like Errol Spence and allow him to punish you like that, without giving him anything in return, his confidence goes up too, because he's like, oh, he's not gonna show me anything. I mean, the data I'm collecting is very minimal data, so he's not gonna come in here and leave it all in the ring. Okay, he ain't trying to defend his title then. All right, cool. Goddamn, Errol Spence was moving around the ring at will. You know what I'm saying? At leisure. That man was transient. He's pedestrian, just going around doing what the fuck he want to do, dog. Ugas didn't make him pay enough. Ugas did not make him pay enough, bro. I don't know, man. I was disappointed in Ugas' performance. Real talk. Bud knows he has to drop him because they are ready to do him dirty. Just like I said about Deontay Wilder situation, I have faith in what he has going on. Bomac and them. I have faith in that shit. I have faith in them understanding what they need to do, because so far They haven't ran into those issues. I don't see him walking to the ring like Alexander Povetkin when he fought Dillian White a second time. You know, all this build up, like you see a fighter go in there and perform and make you say, damn, that was an incredible fight right there. Man, just like Alexander Povetkin, you know, he's behind in the fight, being dropped twice. He comes back and knock out Dillian White. And then he comes into the fucking rematch, and the dude looked like he was in the back just waking up off NyQuil. Oh, it's time to go to the ring. Okay. Yeah, somebody put my gloves on. Shit, it's cold. This head cold is something else. You know, that motherfucker came to the ring like he just finished sipping some lean. This nigga wobbling all over the place. No, man, I don't like that shit. So I'm pretty sure Team Crawford is going to be well aware of the potential whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But I really hope there's drug testing. You know what I'm saying? I see Terrence Crawford as a clean fighter who stays in the gym all the time. When I say clean, I mean no smoking, drinking, and shit. And he's constantly in the gym, you know, promoting the salubrity lifestyle, you know, of health and fitness. So I still think his fitness is better than Errol Spence. Real talk. I know for a fact, you know, Terrence Crawford is a stronger fighter than Errol Spence also. But if he wants to come in there and throw those type of punches that he threw with Ugas to Bud Crawford, potentially he will get stopped. That's all I'm saying. Of course, it's my opinion. Of course, they're gonna say it's hate. You know what I'm saying? I gotta switch up the English language because it's chopped and screwed so much. Hate sounds like it's important, but it's just hate. You know what I'm saying? They say I give him hate, but hate. You know what I'm saying? It's not hate. Jay Smith on deck. What it do? What's good with it? Bud knows he has to drop him because they are ready to do him dirty. Mr. Pass on deck with it. What's good, Mr. Pass? Jannard on deck. Salute World Combat Sports. Sorry to keep going on a rant, but Bud must go to the body and make Spence pay. I can still visualize Bud dropping Spence with the overhand right to the front of the skull. Hey, Jannard, I see, you know, Terrence Crawford doing a lot more, you know, from every different angle that's accessible to him that Spence allows him to take. I just feel overall as a fighter that Terrence Crawford supersedes that of Errol Spence. Errol Spence, what he was doing yesterday, being able to go to the body of a stationary fighter, being able to throw those hooks whenever he wanted to, you know, just get in close and do damage, shoot the uppercut through the high guard. It was easy work. It was just like Sebastian Fundora, you know, sending that uppercut on Erickson Lubin. You had the high guard. Sometimes he had his head down. And it's easy work. They never see the shot coming. And that is not the caliber fighter that Terrence Crawford is. We know that shit. Terrence Crawford is not motherfucking Urine Ugas, bro. I think Bud need to protect the body and use his legs a little more with defense against Errol. But I got Bud winning for sure. For sure. I mean, look, is he going to be able to get off those body shots in a consistent manner against a fighter like Bud, who has other tools and he has the power himself to make Spence pay? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a test of wheels in that fight. And also you have to factor this in too. What type of fight are we going to see? Urine Ugas chose to stay on the inside with Errol Spence. Why? You didn't do that shit with Sean Porter. Why did you didn't do the shit with Dan Pacquiao? Why did you choose to do it with Errol Spence? Just stay there. Just like I said about Erickson Lubin. He had success with the space in the first round with Sebastian Fundora. And then he decided to get comfortable and get on the inside and try to test his. No, bro. Do what works, win some rounds, and then switch it up a little bit. But when you see Errol Spence coming out the gate with Urine Ugas, obviously he didn't give a fuck. He just basically said, man, I'm going to walk over this dude. You know what I'm saying? He ain't showing me shit in the first round. I'm going to test him. I'm going to walk out. And Errol came out the gate. And it's almost like Ugas was standing there like a deer in the headlights saying, you know, I wasn't expecting this type of, you know, aggression and volume so early in the fight. And then he started bending over for his eye. What happened to the defense, bro? Jay Grant, what's good? Oh, we gonna see, Jay. We gonna see, Shouty. Hey, it ain't nothing I gotta see, bro. I'm telling you, this was made last year. This is an old thumbnail I put out in 21 on IG. And I just went and retrieved it because it's fitting right now. Even Jay knows the performance that Errol Spence is not good enough. That Errol Spence performance last night is not good enough for Terrence Crawford. You know it. You know this shit, Jay. The Boxing King Archives on deck with it. Salute to you. Ugas did not have any answers for so many punches and coming from different angles. Ugas did not know when to counter back. It's funny how you say that, Boxing King Archives, he did not know. Why the fuck Ugas didn't know what to do? And he's did it previously in other fights. What was different about this damn fight? What was different, you was there to defend your WBA crown, bro. That means you go all out. That means you turn up the motherfucking speed, you hit the NOS button, you get your shit together, and you come out the gate shifting gears. He came out there, Keith Thurman. I would say Keith Thurman did better against Pacquiao, and you know, in his defense, you know what I'm saying? Even though he came up with a losing effort, he did better than Urine Ugas. And Urine Ugas has a win over Pacquiao. Now, of course, people are gonna say, "Oh, that's not the same Pacquiao that fought Keith Thurman." Blah blah blah. I'm just giving you them these slide comparisons. I thought Keith Thurman did better than Urine Ugas in defending his WBA title, even though both of these guys came up fucking short. D on deck. He said Bud will get busted up. I have to read these. Look, I have to read these comments so they can be on replay. You know what I'm saying? I have to read them because these individuals are now. Look, I never seen a lot of these individuals, and the reason why I haven't seen a lot of these individuals because they wasn't sure that Errol Spence would get past Ugas. That's all. I haven't seen you come to the WCS highway, dog. Appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Real talk. Like, y'all had to be sure of yourself that Spence get past Ugas. You know what I'm saying? Snacks be on deck. Salute World Combat Sports. Hey, Flex say Ugas stayed in the pocket, like move, stepped up with the jab, etc. I was so pissed. Shout out to Snacks be on deck. What's good? Give me a minute. Shout out to Captain Chaos in the building.
What's going on?
What's good with you? Silence King. He said balls D. Boxing, how do you see that? Care to elaborate? Because you are saying has no merit because every common opponent will say different. True, talk to him, bro. Talk to him. Make it known. Steve in the building. Salute y'all. Jay Grant, Bud get stopped as well. Absolutely not, dog. Come on now. Come on. When has it been man down? Last night wasn't even man down, dog. Come on. It wasn't even man down. So what you got there, Ed? What's good? Captain Chaos in the building. Appreciate you pulling up, dog.
Thank you for having me up. Scotty, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you like I always do. This weight thing, you know, this nutrition thing, you know, I don't think a lot of people realize how big and how important it is. And I don't think that people realize how much of a master that you are when it comes to that topic, because you competed on the highest level when it comes to nutrition and body transformation. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
So know, when it comes to weight, it's like, it's like a deep sea diving, and everybody knows that. You know what I'm saying? When you go all the way to the bottom, you just can't rush all the way to the top because your blood is gonna fizzle and you're gonna die. What do I mean by that? When you're trying to make weight, since the beginning of time, since they weigh you in before the fight, it's a very slow process. Usually, most fighters are trying to make that weight the last week before the fight. That's the week where there's less training involved, there's less sparring. Scotty, am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, for sure. I'm listening. For sure.
And that's the week where you're putting your body through that strain and that stress, because it's like deep sea diving. And what people don't understand is when you're trying to make that weight, man, you have no power, you're cranky. You know what I'm saying? Even getting out of
Mm-hmm.
bed, it just takes everything out of you. And people really don't understand that. And it has to be broken down to them. When I
Yeah.
heard that Spence was at weight over a month before the fight, I was like, nah, there's no way. No way. I was like, there's no way on earth that he could be at weight over a month before the fight and be able to compete at a high level the day of the fight, because you're just destroying your body. And that work rate that he put out was insane. It was insane. Insane. Yep. I think that Ugas knew that, and Ugas was like, you know what? I'm going toe to toe, because he can't have nothing. His tank got to be on empty. You know what I'm saying? And then when he went in there, just like you said, my man Spence was on turbo, and Ugas was with the putt. He didn't have it. And by the time he realized, it was just too late. It was just too late. The only thing I'm gonna say is the few times that Ugas touched Spence to the body.
Drum roll. You froze up.
I said the few times that Ugas hit Spence to the body, he made Spence double over.
He did have a reaction out of Spence. There
Ugas
was a
don't
reaction.
pop.
Yep.
Ugas does not pop. Everybody knows that. I don't care. Listen, I will argue that with anybody. Or Ugas don't pop. Ugas has no pop. He's just a smart technician. All I'm saying is, if Bud hits Spence with those same body shots, it's going to be a different outcome. It's going to be a different outcome, because everybody knows Bud can crack. Bud ain't staying on the inside. Bud is going on the outside. He's coming on the inside. He's giving you different levels. And like you said, Scotty, Bud is going to want that testing. Bud is going to want that testing, you know? And, people need to understand that weight issue, man. That weight issue is a very big issue. That's gasoline. That you could have an Indy 500 race car. That car ain't got that nitrogen. It ain't got that good gasoline. It ain't going nowhere. It's not going nowhere. It doesn't matter if you got a Ferrari. If you got a Ferrari, you ain't putting no cheap gasoline in it. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say? Yo, there's no way on earth, man, that you're at fighting weight. It doesn't even make any sense. You shouldn't be at fighting weight a month and a half before the fight. It just don't make no sense. It doesn't. Scotty, am I wrong?
I look at it like this, Chaos. Like, you know how difficult to be, like you said, to be on weight that far out. And still you have to have calorie intake, proper calorie intake to basically keep your muscle mass the way it is. Because once your body deplete, your body fat deplete, your BMI is at a low, you have to have science. It becomes down to scientific calculations then with the protein and everything else. I mean, I'm talking about this shit is very, very complex. But to be that lean, we're not even that lean if we're competing a month and a half out. We nowhere even close to being that lean. We don't really get that lean to, like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks out. We starting to really, reduce the water intake, switch up the diet, the red meat is already gone. But with Spence, he was still sparring, for what I understand. He was still working out. He was still burning those calories and his metabolism was spinning. For him to be that lean all the way out, maintain the muscle mass, and he's probably eating like 5 or 6 meals a day because you can't be that lean on weight that far out without proper nutrition or freaking performance enhancing drugs. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? You can't do it. You
Correct.
cannot do it, bro.
And you said it best, man. When people start saying the word science, that's the overall kicker right there. As soon as you start kicking in that word science, man, that says it all. Science. What does science entail?
Man, when it comes to fitness, that's a lot of shit.
You know,
You know what I'm
science means it's not the workings of the common man.
saying? No.
You know what I'm saying? You said it, bro. Like all of a sudden, yo, you got to take this. You got to. There's no way on earth that you are sparring at a high intensity level when you said it. You don't have the nutrition. You don't have the proper. Your body is not. Your gas tank is empty. Your gas tank is empty. People need to understand that. They're gonna be like, "Oh no, you're a hater. You're a hater." Ask anybody who's ever been into bodybuilding, and you know what people are gonna say? Bodybuilding and boxing are not the same. Yes, it is. It's the same thing. Anything that has to do with weight, wrestling, now collegiate wrestling and boxing, they're the same. Because the weight, anything that where you have to make weight, where weight is an issue, it's the same thing. These bodybuilders, man, you know what I'm saying? What do they say, Scotty? That
I didn't hear you.
the day that they're performing, the bodybuilders, when they're up on stage, is the day that their bodies are at its lowest point, that they're at their weakest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're so weight drained. They're fatigued because they're keeping that body to like there's no water. They're cut. You know what I mean? And Errol was doing that over a month in camp. Honestly, man, I just don't, like we all said it best. There's science involved. There's definitely a science involved because you're not even getting out of bed. You're not getting out of bed. You'll be like, I don't care, bro. I'm not working out. I don't care. You're gonna have to give me something or give me a roast beef sandwich because I'm not working out. I don't care. Because your body's not gonna have the energy to do it until guess what? People start saying the word science. And that's it. It's a science.
And then if your body will search for fat to burn. You know what I'm saying? They will search. And you transfer fat to muscle. You know what I'm saying? You built up the muscle. You barely have any body fat. Therefore, your body is searching. In order for that body not to take it from the muscle and start depleting your muscle mass, and then you start going through chemical changes, sugar level, imbalances and all that other shit, you have to have individuals that understand the fine numbers of scientific nutrition. That's when it becomes the big money. That's when it becomes very, very technical on how they put your food together, when you're eating, all that shit. Because Errol Spence, he had to go in there and train and have the energy level to, perform at a high level. All of a sudden, they talking about no drug testing. Now it becomes much more easier because you're looking at certain things like differently. You can still have the nutrition, but now you can get a boost if you need it.
And you know what? A lot of people are gonna say you're hating. No, I'm not hating. I'll state another thing that's a fact. That mental lapse that Errol Spence had with the mouthpiece, Ugas cracked him.
Yeah.
That was Bud hitting Errol Spence with the power that Bud has. Come on now. People are going to be like, oh, he's a hater. No, I'm not a hater, man. I love the sport of boxing. Scotty, me and you have spoken. I try to call it because I love the game. I'm not picking fighters. I just call it how my brain sees it. Ugas is not a puncher. His record states it. If Bud would have cracked Errol Spence with that free shot, that's like a free shot right there.
Mm-hmm.
Free shot. Yo, go ahead, hit me. Yo, Errol would have been on Quiz Street. Errol would have been definitely on Quiz. That fight, it probably would have been a knockout.
Ain't talking about he wasn't hurt. He was just like, oh, okay. Like, come on,
listen, Bud is just a different. He's a different animal. I'm not saying
he's a different animal, bro.
Now, I'm not saying that Bud is going. I'm not saying Bud's going to win. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's a whole different ball game. Bud could box you, and not only can Bud box you, Bud will box you. He'll fight you. He'll box you. He's going to give you all these different levels. So can Ugas. For whatever reason, we don't know, because you're questioning yourself, Scotty. Why did he stay on the inside? I'm asking. Maybe his eye socket was broken. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something happened to his eye beyond its swelling. You know what I mean? Because after the second round, after the third round, Ugas was just a different fighter.
Man, he was up there with that Daniel Dubois itis. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
They want to stay online and get hit with shit, even though Dubois was on the end of a jab. Ugas was on the end of a lot of shit.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And he just wasn't using any of his defense. Hey, Snack say, why couldn't he be on some discipline stuff? Ugas looked like he was on weight a month out as well. Ugas looked like he was in shape a month out, but anybody who's seen those pictures where Errol had his shirt off and he was in the gym, he looked frail then.
yeah,
Like, dude looked very, very skinny, and people was like, oh, they didn't want to talk about it though. They said, oh, he looked in great shape. But the man looked frail. Like he looked thin. But I'm not taking nothing away from his motor. His motor was on point yesterday. But as a boxing head, I gotta factor in there was no drug testing, period. And you can't, hey, Snacks and all the people that's in the chat, you can't say is hating on Spence when I said the same thing about Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao. I said the same thing about Sebastian Fundora and Erickson Lubin. Y'all cats that get on here and y'all dog out Sebastian Fundora and say he ain't clean, but yet you silent as a motherfucker on here when it's Errol Spence with no drug testing. And go look at all the lives. Go look at the lives when they say, oh, fuck that. Sebastian Fundora, he ain't clean. He a dirty fighter. What? So you just going to overlook that Errol Spence and Ugas was the same as Fundora and Lubin? It was no fucking drug testing, y'all. So you have to keep the same mentality of fairness when you're reporting. If you was vilifying Fundora, you have to vilify Spence and Ugas too. Especially Spence, because he looked shredded weeks out before the fight.
yeah. You know what's funny though? Commenting on what Snack said, he said that Ugas looked like he was on weight. Look like, you know what I'm saying? That means that we didn't know what was going on in Ugas's camp. We know what was going on in Spence's camp because they put that out there. They're the ones who said, yo, we've been on weight a month and a half. So we can't assume. That's not an assumption. That's a fact.
Factual.
You know what I'm saying? And if you looked at Ugas's body, Ugas looked like the bigger, stronger dude, picture-wise.
Talk to him, Ed. You absolutely right. You absolutely right. Didn't he at the weigh-in? He looked like the bigger, stronger dude, man.
There was a time during the week leading up to the fight where Errol looked like a crackhead. Errol looked like a crackhead. And once again, I am not hating on Errol, but these are facts that his people put out. The only reason why we're talking about this is because they put that information out there. Because if they wouldn't have put that information out there, this would be just a bullshit conversation. Because people would be like, well, Ed, how could you prove that? You're just talking out your ass. But they can't say that to me right now because they're the ones that put that out there. They're the ones who said, yo, we've been on weight over a month. And you're scratching your head like, what? That don't make no sense. And people are just like, discipline. That's not discipline, man. And that's what gets me like upset. That's not discipline, man. That has nothing to do with discipline. Your work output is not going to be the same. People, you need to wake up. You need to get into sports. Act like, yo, do your research. Do your research, man. Yo, Scotty, you said it best, man. This is a science. Like that's like having an Indy 500 race car and you getting a regular mechanic. Yeah, go fix that car that's worth $3 million, $5 million. No, you're gonna get the best of the best. That's when you have that race car that costs $3 million, $4 million, $5 million, that even the nut and bolt Even the nut and bolt that the car has makes a difference. Scotty, am I lying?
You're right on, man. You're right on with it.
You know what I'm saying? We're talking about this is a science, man. Even the type of water that they're drinking means something. You know?
Especially today, the water. Especially today. Not
Yeah.
every water is what you want when you couldn't wait.
I mean, we're not talking about loaded gloves. This is not a conversation. We're talking about loaded gloves where you have an inspector there looking at the gloves and all this, where it's harder. Well, you know what I'm saying? To say that somebody has loaded gloves, that means there's a lot of people involved. People are seeing, people are touching the gloves. We're talking about be mad. Nobody can be mad when you question. You can't get mad. There's no drug testing. The facts are there. The facts are there. Just look at them. You ask any fighter's gonna tell you, shit, hell no. I'm not. Why would I want to be? Why would I want to be at weight 2 months before the fight? I don't want to be at weight 2 months before the fight. Why do I want to be miserable 2 months before the fight? I'm gonna be
2
miserable
months before it.
just
Absolutely.
a couple of days. I'm gonna be miserable just a couple of days. That's what people don't understand. That's why fighters, when as soon as a fighter steps on the scale, what's the first thing he picks up as soon as he gets off that scale? Any high level fighter. Look at Canelo.
Liquid.
Pedialyte.
Yep.
That's the first. Some people will be like, "But wait,
Well, you don't
wait,
know it's Pedialyte, but it is.
there you go. It's seen. We assume it's Pedialyte, and guess what? Most people will be like, "Well, wait, I don't understand what he means." But Pedialyte. Well. Come on, man. As soon as those people get off that scale, man, what's the first thing they do? Yo, I need something to eat, bro. Let's eat up.
Let me get to some of these comments right quick on that chaos.
Yeah.
Snack said, here we go with the PED talk. The PED talk is public record. And consistently, if you tuned in, Snacks B, I know you be around, so I respect. I look at it like this, my brother. I said the same thing about Sebastian Fundora and Erickson Lubin. I said the same shit about Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao. Same thing. Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Broner. I said the same shit. Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. So this is not just no hot take, dealing with Errol Spence. It's not. Check my playback. Check my catalog. I said the same shit about Deontay Wilder going in there with Tyson Fury. Now, people getting on here saying they saw the paper. Mauricio verified there was no motherfucking drug testing. I don't care about any paperwork that can be doctored up. They didn't test those fighters yesterday. They didn't test the fighters. Silence said, Porter never hurt Bud body, and Mean Machine supposed to knock down. You should go watch that again because that was a not a knockdown. See, first of all, Porter wasn't that power puncher like that. Porter was known to go life and limb with some of everybody, and also they respected him for having a chin. But what one thing Porter wasn't blessed with his physical attributes was as a boxer, he just didn't possess that power like that. And that's crazy. How he can defeat Oleksandr Usyk in the amateurs, but yet he's only been at 47 since he's been competing professionally. That's just crazy. Teacher in the building, what's good? Jay Grant say, my bad, Snacks. I thought you was talking to me. Carb cycling. Yeah, carb cycling is a big part of everything. Like at a certain point, especially when you're competing, you go from a full cup to a half a cup, a 3/4 to a half to a quarter. Yeah, it's a science, just like Chaos was up here saying. The person Porter hurt was Spence in multiple occasions. Ugas even hurt him pretty badly. So what is your point again? Talk to him, that's Silent King. Talk to him. Shout out to Terrence Bailey. He said this is going to be a great fight. EJ aggressive style versus TC, footwork and speed. And I think Terrence, you put up there saying he showed his paperwork. Look, fighters can be tested for different stuff. On the lower level, fighters are tested. Their blood work is tested to see if they have HIV. They ain't testing for no weed. They ain't testing for no damn pads. None of that shit. And then they have to get eye tests. Women, they have to take a pregnancy test, make sure they're HIV negative, and an eye test. It's multiple shit that you can be tested for in boxing on different levels. It really should have been considered a knockdown. What if it's now? Let me see. Right side in the building. The big fish said he's coming to take Bud Strap. Yeah, people say a lot of things. That doesn't mean it's actually going to come to fruition. We know that, right side. We know that. Ugas beat Bud twice in the AMs. I think Ugas is a harder fight than Bud. I'm glad you brought that up again. Y'all love replaying what you hear other outlets talk about. And that's why I call these media outlets segues, because people take it and they run with it, and then they go up here and regurgitate it to shit. But check this out. If we're talking about the amateurs, right? And we're talking about Ugas beat Bud twice. Why haven't he beat Bud in the professional ranks? We can talk about Castano knocking down Errol Spence in the amateurs if you really want to go there. Y'all not talking about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Castano had a very good time with Errol Spence, but no one's talking about that because they're in different weight classes. You know what I'm saying? So Ugas, what he's been able to do with his career is much less than what Terrence Crawford has been able to achieve at this point. Jay Smith say Crawford versus Spence is likely the Super Bowl. It is. I'm not in no way, shape, or form downplaying the potential fight between these two. All I'm saying is I hope there's a drug test, and I want it to be a fair playing field, because I don't think Terrence Crawford is that dude that go around here just because it's not, it's no drug testing, that he's juicing. Teach say, I think this is the first time I've seen Spence throw that much uppercuts. Ugas did a good job guarding his body. For real. They wanted to make it seem like that Spence, this is the meanest he's ever been. This is the best training camp. He was just going in there, moving around just like he was, somebody would walk up in the gym, been talking shit, and they just up here playing with him. I'll teach you a lesson. Like this some Charlie Z shit. Bro, they stay in VADA. What are you talking about? They don't stay in VADA. It's been plenty of fighters. What are you talking about, Jay? Get your facts straight. Talking about they stay in VADA. There's been plenty of fighters that hasn't signed up for VADA. You know what I'm saying? Canelo for one, okay? Come on. Canelo has been at a point in time that he wasn't signed up for VADA at a point in time. They don't stay in VADA. Why the hell are they going to stay in VADA? Why? They can get in the testing pool. That don't mean they're going to be tested. Why would they stay in it? They can get in the pool. That doesn't mean they're going to be tested. I'm not saying you hating, bro. Not me. Spence motor is always good. Cool. But, if you're saying his motor's good and you have to weigh that in against the competition with Sean Porter, I don't think his motor was any better than Sean Porter's at that time. Victor Conte said, "I'm not bringing in Victor Conte." Hey, what you think about Victor Conte, Ed? His history and all that shit. What do you think him still having interaction with these professional fighters?
Scotty, here I go again. To these, they made the word young blood. You're a young blood. You're a whippersnapper. That's what happens when an OG is talking to a young guy that hasn't been walking this earth so long. That's what you tell him. And what do OGs say? Once a cheater, always a cheater.
Always a
cheater. What I'm saying? If you a crook today, you're always gonna be a crook. So in regards to Victor Conte, that's what I mean. He's a crook. He's the king of all crooks. You know what I'm saying? He made a deal. He made a deal to still be in the game. If that doesn't raise your level of suspicion, then you know what, man? I really don't know what to tell you. And a lot of people, the hottest thing right now is PEDs and science. And everybody likes to say that word, hate. And let me explain to people the difference between yesterday, when there was no science, till today, when there was science. Back in the days, they used to tell you, yo, you got to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to run. Today, you don't got to do that. Back in the days, they said, yo, training camp is going to be up in the woods. You can't see your girl. You got to be secluded. Today, you don't have to do that.
Your girl in the same bed as you.
Thank you. Back in the days, all right, look it up. Archie Moore and Sugar Ray Robinson used to go to the steakhouse, have an empty bucket next to them. Chew on their steak, keep chewing and chew.
Repeat what you just said about the steak, man, because you went out.
Back in the days, it's a known fact. Archie Moore and Sugar Ray Robinson used to go to the steakhouse, order them the best steak, the biggest steak that they could get, and they would just keep chewing on it and chewing on it and chewing on it and chewing on it, and all they would do was swallow the juices and spit out the steak. That was yesterday's science, because there was no science. There was none. Don't forget, back in the days, guys were Ali, Spinks was running in army boots, Timberlands. Try to do that today. Be like, yo, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? What are you doing? You know, you're not running on them boots, man. People need to, the receipts are there. The receipts are there. Don't fight it. It's there. You know what I'm saying? What have you ever seen a fighter in today's age be at a steakhouse eating a steak with a bucket next to him? And a lot of people are going to say, yo, what is he talking about? Go look it up. Go look it up, Archie Moore. Archie Moore used to have a bucket next to him, man. Used to eat whatever he wanted and never swallow the solid. Only swallow the juice and spit everything out. They don't do that nowadays because there's a science involved. When it comes to sports, everything is a science now. Everything's a science. Guess why? Because they want more from the athlete. They want to squeeze every little thing they want from the athlete. And guess what? The athlete wants that too, because the athlete wants every single edge that he can get to win. That's a fact. People don't fight it. And guess why it's a fact? If back in the days they told you, yo, my man, you can't be with your girl during camp because it's gonna mess you up. Why did cats do it back in the days? Because they wanted that edge. Since the beginning of time, man. All man wanted to do
even Shakur, Chaos, even Shakur Stevenson just, came on record and say, he has an 8-week training camp. He's done for 8 weeks. You know what I'm saying? He's done. He ain't participating in any sexual activities or nothing. He totally believes in that shit.
You know what I'm saying? But guess what? When you get that mad scientist that comes in and says, yo, bro, you don't have to believe all that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why you're paying me what you're paying me. You're going to do everything I tell you to do. You're going to take this. You're going to take that. Like, people all of a sudden they forgot about Oscar Valdez. They forgot about Canelo. You know what I'm saying? All these fighters are doing it. Like, all these fighters are doing it. Tyson Fury said it best. He said it. Yo, everybody's
juicing.
People,
what do you say, Chaos? Everybody's on steroids.
Because what people don't understand is there's all types of steroids. There's steroids to make you to make you cut weight. There's steroids. Listen, if people don't understand, man, if you have asthma, your ass is taking steroids. There's steroids everywhere, man. There's steroids for every little single thing. Scotty, you know that best. The reason people don't understand is, understand who you're talking to. I know Scotty's background. You know what I'm saying? I know Scotty's background. You're talking to, when Scotty's talking, you need to listen to him. You're not talking to Joe Schmo. You know what I'm saying? Even me, I don't know what Scotty knows, man. Scotty's been in the game. Scotty's been in the game of sports nutrition. Scotty, there's a lot of things that Scotty don't talk about because that's not the type of person he is. And Scotty right now is probably like, yo, why you blowing me up? But Scotty, am I wrong?
According to what you're talking about.
Yeah, you see what my man's pleading the fifth. But listen to this man. You know what I'm saying? Listen to this man. When it comes to sports nutrition, Scotty knows what he's talking about because he's been in that field. He's been in that game. You know what I'm saying? This shit is a science. And people are like, why are we talking so much about this shit? You want to know why we're talking so much about this thing? Because this is the hottest thing in boxing. This is the hottest topic right now. The hottest topic right now. Now, Scotty, I need you to clarify something for me. And when I say clarify, it's because I don't know the answer, and I know you're gonna know. Now, when there's no
You went out, Ed. You went out. I can't hear you.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
It's very important. If there's no mandatory drug testing and the fighter wants drug testing, out of whose pocket is it coming out of?
His.
I guarantee you a lot of people didn't know that. A lot of people didn't know that. And Scotty, how expensive is that test?
Very expensive.
and you're taking it more than one time, correct?
Yep.
Hey man, some
It's
fighters will
gonna
be
be
like, yo,
random. It's gonna be random. Just because you request it, don't mean it's gonna be on your clock.
people wake up. People need to wake up, bro. So now let's say I'm making $5 million. I'm making $5 million, and they tell me, yo, bro, there's no mandatory drug testing. If you want that drug testing, that's just gonna cost you like $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, some fighters will be like, what? $10,000? Nah, I ain't spending that shit. I'll beat his ass. I'll beat his ass, even if he's on that King Kong juice. I don't care. I want my money.
Yeah.
People
Yep.
don't, yo, like, and that's what gets me wrong. That's what gets me upset. I say it again. When there's no mandatory drug testing, Scotty, out of whose pocket does that come out of?
The fighter. That's the
And-
question.
right.
Yes.
And let's say it again, Scotty, does a fighter generate boxing income for all his life, for eternity? No, right?
Nah.
So
No
every
residual
single dollar
income.
he makes, every single dollar that he makes, he has to account for it, correct?
Correct.
So why would you want to spend 10 grand or however much it is when you know you're clean and your mentality is, I don't care what that dude takes, bro. I'm gonna beat his ass. Yo, $10,000 is a lot of money, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
And I'm not saying that that's the price tag, but
Especially when you got people to pay.
I'm just saying it raises the level of suspicion. And when Tyson Fury is saying that they're all cheaters, and then you got Victor Conti running around, come on now. You know, just say to yourselves, man, you know, listen, one thing is one thing. Like if you do your taxes, right, and you take a couple of things and you don't put it on your tax form, you're a cheat. You're a cheat, man. But then you got other people that are just like robbing millions from the government. They're cheaters too. You're both classified as cheaters. So don't think because you know you're cheating a little bit, you're safe. What am I trying to? What's the point? Everybody's cheating, bro. Everybody's cheating. Everybody's cheating. They're finding a way, man. They're finding a way. And when you have a sport like boxing that is corrupted since the beginning of time, bro, listen, man. People need to wake up, man. We're talking about, you know, economics of fighters, man. You got to think about, you know, the economics of it, the mentality of it. You know, we're talking about 99.99999% of these fighters come from the mud. They come from the mud. They're not studying in Harvard. You know what I'm saying? They don't have business degrees. They don't have law degrees. They have the sense of the common man. Yeah, I ain't spending no 10 G's for that shit, man. Fuck that shit. Nah. I need my money, bro. Give me my money. Give me my money. Right or wrong?
You're right, man. Like when it comes down to it, man, they might want drug testing depending on who it is and what they're fighting for. You know what I'm saying? That you know, they really confident in their skill set. They'll just go in there and get it done. You know what I'm saying? They don't care because if there's no drug testing, people always come out and say there were drug testing. Okay, what did they test for though? Was it HIV? You know, what was being tested? You know, of course, fighters have to have certain tests, but are they testing for PEDs? All of them. Are they testing for the banned substance? You know, the substance abuse policy that violates the boxing terms. Are they testing for that shit? Snack says his whole camp is different now, brothers. Man, I know people really going off this whole camp type of deal. Seriously. I've seen Errol Spence come in physical condition before. He still has the same coach. He has Derrick James as his coach. But when you say his whole camp is different, Derrick James isn't different. You're talking about nutrition and the strength and condition. When he was knocking out, when he was with Blu-ray, everybody was on here hyping up Blu-ray and saying he was knocking dudes out. I mean, come on now. Which one is it going to be? Okay, he was knocking dudes out with Blu-ray, but then now he has a different nutrition and strength and conditioning. He didn't knock out Yadina's Ugas. Ugas, the referee stopped. I mean, come on. You thought Lawrence Cole was gonna let that. Lawrence Cole knows what the orders are. He knows what the orders are. If you thought Lawrence Cole was gonna let him continue to fight with that eye the way it was, imagine him in the Erickson Lubin and Sebastian Fundora fight, he probably would have stopped, went that over to the doctor too. Lawrence Cole is considered one of the worst referees in the boxing. So he took him over there a second time. I know it was a wrap. But anyway, they're saying it's the Dallas Shag. Man, the Dallas Shag is just a hairstyle, man. Y'all need to stop. The Shag had nothing to do with anything. How many times, Ed, did you see Ugas on the canvas yesterday?
0.
I didn't see him 0, but it's all this strength and conditioning and all this man down and the big fish and all this. I didn't see Ugas on the canvas.
I put it to you like this.
Saying the man down shit, bro. Ain't nobody going down.
How many times did you see Ugas get rocked?
For real. And he fought like shit. How many times was he rocked? I don't remember seeing him at all. I saw him bend over when that eye was fucked up. I seen him bend over a little bit, fold up, but he didn't take a knee. He didn't do any of that shit.
It just look, man. Understand how complex boxing is. Boxing is a very complex sport, man. Boxing is like horse racing, man. I say it again, man. People are gonna be like, yo, what is this dude talking about? Boxing is so complex where Nazir Richardson, right? Which a lot of people are gonna be like, well, who's Nazir Richardson? Nazir Richardson went into Felix Trinidad's locker room, checked the hand wraps, and for some minute thing in the hand wraps, he said, yo, you changing that. You ain't doing that. Where any
shout out to Nazir too, man. Correct. B Hop's he was B Hop's sparring partner too.
So something so minute that any other trainer, any other second hand would have been like, nah, it ain't no thing. Nazir Richardson had the knowledge and the brain to say, nah, you ain't getting no uppers. You ain't getting nothing. We ain't giving you nothing. We're gonna mess with your brain, and you ain't getting one. I'm not giving you nothing. People understand what I just told you. This is a psychological game. This is a scientific game. This is the art of war. You know what I'm saying? Where you could have a man like Nazir Richardson, you know what I'm saying, could go in there and for a little thing of a hand wrap, he'd be like, nah.
You mean Richardson, Nazir Richardson, not Nasir Graham.
No, Nazir Richardson.
Okay.
Nazir Richardson. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? That changes the mentality. Because now, Felix Trinidad's like, yo, what the hell's going on? It's an edge, man. You want that edge. You want that edge by any means necessary. You want to get that psychological edge. You want to get that physical edge. And let me tell you something. If you don't think that it's a psychological edge for Bud Crawford to say, yo, we're having drug testing, I don't give a shit if I got to pay for it. That's a psychological edge. Because if Spence ain't used to that shit, he's talking about, bro, understand, it's the art of war. It's combat. You know what I'm saying? And in combat, you're trying to get that edge. Whether you're cheating or you're not cheating, you want that edge. And that's just simple. It's just that simple. Very simple. You know what I'm saying? Bud Crawford is going to come in there and he's going to say, I don't care how much it cost. Because you just said it best, Scotty. Bud Crawford's at a different level than Ugas because Bud Crawford's been making big money for a long time. So Bud Crawford, that's not going to hurt his pocket. Not only it's not going to hurt his pocket, and he's not going to care because he wants to have that psychological edge. Nazir Richardson did that shit to Tito Trinidad to have that psychological edge. You know what I'm saying? All this thing with the loaded gloves, Jay Diaz, when he was in Tyson Fury's locker room and they were doing the hand wraps and everything, yo, either if they were loaded gloves, Jay Diaz had his head up his ass or didn't know what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's
are you gonna mention Nasir Richardson and Antonio Margarito?
See, that's a situation where I didn't mention Antonio Margarito because Antonio Margarito was just straight up cheating.
Yeah, he had motherfucking yogurt coming out of his hand wraps, huh?
Yeah, that was just straight up cheating.
The shit hadn't been dried yet, that chaos.
Yeah, What Felix Trinidad wanted to do was get a little, yo, we're talking about millimeters in the hand wraps. You know what I'm saying? It was, and no disrespect, I'm not trying to say, it was nonsense compared to Antonio, what Antonio Margarito was doing. But even at that level, Nazir Richardson was like, we ain't giving you shit. We ain't giving you nothing. I am not giving you nothing. Those hand wraps are gonna be like the New York State Athletic Commission said it's gonna be. You're gonna do everything by the book, and that messes with you psychologically. Cause just imagine for once, we got to do the hand wraps over. What do you mean we got to do the hand wraps over? Yo, bro, there's a problem with the hand wraps. What problem with the hand wraps? Yeah, bro. If we don't fix these hand wraps, we ain't fighting. Yo, what the fuck? That messes with you, bro. Because people don't understand. You're antsy. You're ready to get your brain is already working. Your engine's getting ready to rev up. Vroom, 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 vroom. You said it best, man. That engine is getting ready to kick in high gear. Now you got to slow that engine back down. Yo, we got to do the hand wraps over. Yo, did they find something wrong? Wow. Yo, boxing is a very complex sport. It's a very complex sport. It's a very opinionated sport. That's why people say it. Boxing is like no other sport. Boxing is like no other sport. You know what I'm saying? The mental game is so huge. The mental game is so huge. Science is very huge. And when Bud Crawford comes in the game, Bud Crawford is not going to care. Because guess what? Bud Crawford is a name. Bud Crawford is a brand. It's not the same as Ugas, because how many times do you think Ugas is going to be able to be at Bud Crawford's status? He only probably got he had the Manny Pacquiao fight, right? He had the Spence fight. If he's lucky, he'll get another big fight in his career. Where how many big fights has Bud been in? That's the difference. When you say, yo, I want random drug testing. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care where it's coming from. That's the difference between an Ugas and a Bud Crawford. Ugas is trying to penny pinch every single penny he can. Yo, I want my money. I want my money. I want my money. Where Bud Crawford is a brand, and he's saying, yo, I don't care how much it costs. I don't care how much it costs, and I don't care where the money's coming from. Make that happen.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm gonna have to Hey Ed. Hey, I appreciate you pulling up, man. You know what day it is, man. I gotta go out here and handle some shit with the fam, dog. You know what I'm saying? I can't hear you.
One of the very few that are professional, calls it how it is, and actually knows the game. Very hard to come by.
I always appreciate the kind words. Same to you, man. You keep that shit, 100. No matter what they say, bro. You have a stern sense of how you place your delivery out there, and when you're speaking what's on your mind. You do know your boxing. A lot of people don't know that Ed works behind the scene with boxing. You know what I'm saying? He knows a lot of important people behind the sport. You know what I'm saying? So like this is just a platform. But there's a lot more fine details outside of this platform that people don't know about. A lot of us, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, I appreciate you for pulling up, man. And
Much
I'm about
blessings.
to, yeah, for sure, man. You and your family have a happy Easter, bro.
Likewise. Appreciate you to end and back, man, and your panel too.
I appreciate you, bro. Be
good,
safe
brother.
out there.
All right, brother.
Yeah, I'm on my way out, of course. Until this fight happen, you're gonna see lives such as this. You're gonna see this thumbnail up, 2-time undisputed, Terrence Bud Crawford. This is gonna happen. It's gonna happen, bro. Y'all don't be in denial and don't be mad. Like, let's check this out. I appreciate the ones who pull up. Like, I know Snacks B. I know who Snacks B support. I know who King Mitch support. I know the usual individuals that's in the live chat who gonna talk. I don't have a problem with that shit because it's never on no disrespect or shit like that. They gonna talk their boxing. It's all good, man. I don't have to have y'all sitting up here agreeing with me. But at the end of the day, you know who I'm pulling for and who I'm gonna speak and put up under that halo when it comes to Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. I don't believe that Errol Spence can get it done. That's just me. That's just me. I don't think he can get it done, especially off his performance last night. It's nothing, dealing with no hate when it comes to Errol Spence. So just let that ride. And then, you can't sit up here and say, oh, I'm bringing in drug testing when you haven't even checked any of my lives or followed me long enough to know. I said the same shit about Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. I said the same shit about several other fights that took place with Adrian Broner, Manny Pacquiao fight, recently the Sebastian Fundora fight and Erickson Lubin. We have to keep the same energy, because if you're going to dog out Sebastian Fundora for no drug testing, you can't come up here and say, oh, Errol Spence was drug tested. No. Y'all was saying that Sebastian, the punishment that he delegated on Erickson Lubin, he was on juice. But yet y'all just smooth the fuck over that shit when there's no drug testing for the Uga Spence fight. Yeah, you know what it is, man. It's all good, that Snacks B. You know what it is, bro. Talk your shit, man. But, man, y'all know, hey, y'all enjoy y'all Sunday, man. You know what it is. I got to go out and handle this business. Happy Easter to everyone if you celebrate it. And, look at this thumbnail. I'm going to leave this thumbnail up there, for it to sizzle. That's all. 2-time undisputed. It's on the way. I don't want to see no Keith Thurman in between. Terrence Crawford. If you want to fight somebody, that's an easy touch. Fight Conor Benn. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and step on Conor Benn. He's on the high right now from his second round stoppage. Chris Van Heerden. Go over there and step on Conor Benn. He used absolutely no jab at all. That's an easy name on your record, dog. Y'all turn up until the end of the World Cup.